Hi guys, welcome to my channel Medico Ankit. Today I am going to explain about endocrinology. There are two systems in our body that controls the vital processes and body functions and the physiology of the body. So the two major control systems are endocrine system and nervous system. So the next question will be how it controls the body function. First, nervous system controls the body function by releasing neurotransmitters. Endocrine system controls the body function by release of the hormones. Now, what are the major endocrine systems in our body? What are the glands in our body? Glands from top to bottom are hypothalamus, pituitary gland. It has two portions, anterior pituitary and posterior pituitary. And in between them, there is pars intermedia, which is avascular. Then there is thyroid gland, parathyroid gland, islets of the Langerhans of the pancreas, adrenal gland, or it is also called suprarenal gland, then a pair of the testes in the case of male, and a pair of ovary in the case of female, and there is also a placenta during pregnancy. So these were the major endocrine glands in our body. Now I am going to tell the secretions of these glands. First, hypothalamus. So what are the secretions of the hypothalamus? There are four releasing hormones and two inhibiting hormones. So releasing hormones are growth hormone releasing hormone, thyrotropin releasing hormone, corticotropin releasing hormone, and gonadotropin releasing hormone. And there are two inhibitory hormones in the secreted by hypothalamus, and these two hormones are growth hormone inhibitory hormone and prolactin inhibitory hormone. It is also called dopamine. Now, what are the secretions of the anterior pituitary? So, anterior pituitary has some secretions like growth hormone, thyroid stimulating hormone, adrenocorticotropic hormone, follicle stimulating hormone, luteinizing hormone. And the secretions of the intermediate pituitary, it is also called pars intermedia, and it is avascular. So it secretes melanocyte stimulating hormone, and you all know that melanocyte stimulating hormone helps in the secretion of the melanin, that causes pigmentation of the skin. Now, what are the secretions of the posterior pituitary? Secretions of posterior pituitary are antidiuretic hormone. It is also called vasopressin, as it constricts the arteriole and elevates the blood pressure. So it is called vasopressin. And another name is antidiuretic hormone. And its major function is it helps in reabsorption of the water in the distal tubules. And you all know that absorption occurs in GIT, means alimentary tract, and reabsorption occurs in renal tubules. Now there are two variety of cells in the thyroid gland, follicular cells and parafollicular cells. Follicular cells secrete thyroxine, that is T4, and triiodothyronine, that is T3. And parafollicular cells of thyroid gland secretes calcitonin. So what are the secretions of the thyroid gland? Secretions of the thyroid gland are thyroxine, triiodothyronine, and calcitonin. Now you may be asked what percentage of thyroxine are present? So 93% of the total thyroid hormone is thyroxine. Now there is parathyroid gland. And what is the secretion of the parathyroid gland? Chief cells of the parathyroid gland secretes parathormone. It is also called life-saving hormone because it helps in regulating calcium in the plasma. By three processes, it increases the plasma calcium level by increasing the bone resorption, or also you can say bone demineralization. And then it also increases the absorption of calcium from gastrointestinal tract, and it increases the reabsorption of the calcium from renal tubules. In this way, parathormone increases the plasma calcium level and saves us from tetany. Now there is another gland, that is islets of the Langerhans of the pancreas, and it has four cells. Alpha cell secrete glucagon, Beta cell secretes insulin, delta cell secretes somatostatin, and PP cell secretes pancreatic polypeptide hormone. So these were the secretions of the islets of the Langerhans. Then there is adrenal gland. It has two parts, adrenal cortex and adrenal medulla. Adrenal cortex again has three layers, zona glomerulosa, zona fasciculata, and zona reticularis. So what is the secretion of zona glomerulosa? It is aldosterone and deoxycorticosterone. And then zona fasciculata secretes cortisol and corticosterone, and zona reticularis secretes sex hormones, mainly androgens and estrogens. Okay. Now, what are the secretions of adrenal medulla? So, adrenal medulla secretes three hormones: epinephrine, norepinephrine, and dopamine. These are also called the catecholamines. Now, you will be asked, what are the functions of the catecholamines? So, catecholamines causes vasoconstriction. Now there is a pair of testes in male which secretes testosterone by the help of the Leydig cells. Now there is ovary. Ovary secretes estrogen and progesterone, and they are the female sex hormones. And then there is placenta. Placenta has mainly four hormones: human chorionic gonadotropin, estrogen, progesterone, and human chorionic somatomamotropin. Now, what is human chorionic gonadotropin? It is the hormone that helps to detect the pregnancy. It appears in the urine after the 6 days of the conception. And what is human chorionic somatomamotropin? It is lactogenic hormone, and estrogen and progesterone are female sex hormones that helps to develop secondary sexual characteristics, and progesterone mainly helps to make the female sex organ secretory, like it helps to make the breast secretory. It increases the secretion of the breast and fallopian tube and other sex organs. Now there are some diabetogenic hormones. What do you mean by diabetogenic hormones? So it simply refers to the hormones that increase the blood glucose level. And there is non-diabetogenic hormone. It decreases the blood glucose level. And insulin is the non-diabetogenic hormone. And all other hormones generally are the diabetogenic hormone, like cortisol, growth hormone, thyroid hormone, catecholamines, glucagon, etc. So how do they increase the blood glucose level? Diabetogenic hormones increase the blood glucose level by stimulating glycosenolysis and gluconeogenesis, and they inhibit glycolysis and glycogenesis, and they also decrease the peripheral uptake of the glucose by the tissue. But thyroid hormone is the exception. Thyroid hormone increases the blood glucose level, and it also stimulates the glycolysis and glycogenesis as well as peripheral uptake of the glucose by the tissue. But overall effect is it also increases the blood glucose level by other diabetogenic hormones. And why insulin is non-diabetogenic hormones? Because it decreases the blood glucose level by increasing glycolysis, peripheral uptake of glucose by the cells, and glycogenesis. It inhibits gluconeogenesis and glycogenolysis. Now, what are the effects of the hormones over protein metabolism? So, all other hormones helps in the protein synthesis except cortisol. Cortisol helps in the catabolism of the protein. Now, you can be asked which type of protein is catabolized by the cortisol. Cortisol helps in the catabolism of the extrahepatic protein, and it helps in the synthesis of the hepatic protein. Now, what are the metabolic functions of the hormones over the fat metabolism? All other hormones except insulin helps in the mobilization of the fatty acids, and it also increases the lipolysis and beta oxidation, and overall effect is increasing the synthesis of the ketone bodies. So these hormones are ketogenic, but insulin helps in the synthesis of the fatty acid. So it is the exception. Now I am going to say the mechanism of action of hormones. So hormone acts via three methods. First one is cell membrane enzyme activation. Second one is acts via second messenger, and third one is it acts by gene activation. So what are the hormones that act via second messenger? All the protein and peptide hormones except insulin and growth hormone acts via second messenger. And insulin and growth hormone acts via cell membrane enzyme activation. Protein and peptide hormones have their receptors in the cell membrane. And which hormones act via gene activation? Thyroid hormones and steroid hormones act via gene activation. And receptor of the thyroid hormone lies in the nucleus, and receptor of the steroid hormone lies in the cytoplasm. These were some basics about the endocrinology, and hope you liked the video. And if you like the video, then please subscribe my channel. Thank you guys for watching my video.